Latinos in Texas, a district that's 97% Latino, went 75 percentage points for Donald Trump. Why?
Misogyny.
It's on the border. The border crisis is on their doorstep. And they were begging people to care about it for years. We need to take some less.
That's what that was.
And I will dare to say that is the Latino man who wouldn't want a woman president. I mean, you and I had this discussion before, and I have audios from Latino men who were calling my show telling me that they wouldn't vote for her just because she was a woman. And that is unfortunately, but that's part of the Latino culture, right? Where the Latino, the man is the one, the provider, and we're the boss. And we still unfortunately have a lot of Latinos with that mentality where the woman belongs in the kitchen. That is a reality of the Latino male chauvinist culture. And I think that's exactly what happened.
Martinez has no idea what he's talking about. Some inconvenient facts for him. For instance, the fact that in 2016, Hillary Clinton won Latino men by a 31-point margin.
Game over already, but wait till you see more.
And if you think it's mainly because of racism, that also doesn't quite jive with the fact that Latinos voted for Barack Obama over Mitt Romney, 71% to Romney's 27%. What are we doing, Democrats? Like, what do you? They're gone, Cenk. They're gone. Like, unable, unwilling to ever do even a little bit of self-reflection.
Ana Kasparian has been done with the woke left for a good while now, and she's slowly, definitely coming over to the right wing and leaving the Young Turks behind. But ever since Donald Trump won the presidential election, Ana Kasparian has completely snapped and is just going scorched earth against the woke left. And this video is no exception, where she goes after a CNN host, I believe, or maybe it's MSNBC, all the same thing, but also going after Sunny Hostin and the woke host of The View. Let's get into this clip here, where Ana Kasparian goes after the woke left once again and absolutely annihilates them for their just ridiculous rhetoric after losing the 2024 presidential election to Donald Trump.
Several minority groups, including blacks and Latinos, did, as Donald Trump predicted, move over to his column.
It is significant, but not really surprising. Donald Trump, I believe, and in speaking to a number of Republicans and Democrats, has a unique appeal to Latino voters. Most Latino voters are working class folks. And despite his crude sense of humor, despite the jokes that he makes, despite the exaggerations about his wealth and his exploits, for folks that are from where I'm from and folks that I've grown up around, that resonates.
Well, Democratic operatives are desperately trying to figure out why Latino voters, in particular, swung dramatically toward Donald Trump, despite historically voting for Democrats. And they're doing this after the election took place, even though polls were indicating for over a year that this trend was happening, that the Democrats were bleeding support among Latino voters. So look, we'll get back to the very obvious underlying reasons in just a second. But first, I think it's worth looking at these record-breaking numbers, okay? What the results of the election was, what the results were, I should say, in regard to the Latino vote. So take a look at this graphic. So it shows that the majority, around 53% of Latino voters, still did vote for the Democratic candidate Kamala Harris in this election. But that is significantly lower than the 65% that voted for Joe Biden in 2020. So just bleeding support. Meanwhile, Trump did grow support from 32% to 45%, okay? Now, Latino men in particular made a huge swing.
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
Between 2020 and 2024, so let's take a look at that. In 2020, for instance, Joe Biden won among Latino men by 23 percentage points, 59% to Trump's 36%. Fast forward to 2024, and Trump won the Latino men by about 10 points, 54% to Kamala Harris's 44%. He also won among Latino voters overall in the state of Texas. Trump captured 55% of Latino voters in the state, according to exit polls. He also won 14 out of the 18 counties within 20 miles of the border, a number that doubled his 2020 performance in the Latino majority region. So why the huge swing? What's going on? Well, some people like Sunny Hostin and radio host Victor Martinez think that it has to do with identity. Let's take a look.
Latinos in Texas, a district that's 97% Latino, went 75 percentage points for Donald Trump. Why?
Misogyny.
It's on the border. The border crisis is on their doorstep. And they were begging people to care about it for years. We need to take some lessons.
That's what that was.
And I will dare to say that is the Latino man who wouldn't want a woman president. I mean, you and I had this discussion before, and I have audios from Latino men who were calling my show telling me that they wouldn't vote for her just because she was a woman. And that is unfortunately, but that's part of the Latino culture, right? Where the Latino, the man is the one, the provider, and we're the boss. And we still unfortunately have a lot of Latinos with that man.
I mean, in reality, that's not part of Latino culture. That's part of human culture. I mean, you should look at just the past cultures outside of the United States, before modern history. It's always been male leaders. I would think that's probably by design. Regardless, though, Kamala Harris did not lose the election because she's a woman. She lost the election because she's an absolute idiot. And I'm tired of pretending like that's not the case. But also, I'm tired of pretending like there hasn't been mostly male leaders, and every single female-led nation in the past has crumbled pretty horribly, outside of modern history, where the leaders of these countries and the parliament of these countries, they don't really matter much anymore in comparison to kings and queens back in the day who actually made decisions for their countries. And a lot of times there was no checks and balances for those civilizations. Every single time a female led one of those nations, they crumbled pretty quickly. And there might be an exception here and there, but for the most part, they were mostly men-led these great nations, and especially the ones that conquered a lot of the world. But regardless, Kamala Harris did not lose because she's a woman. Kamala Harris lost the election because she's an absolute idiot, and there's no way to dispute that.
Mentality where the woman belongs in the kitchen. That is a reality of the Latino male chauvinist culture, and I think that's exactly what happened.
Martinez has no idea what he's talking about. Some inconvenient facts for him. For instance, the fact that in 2016, Hillary Clinton won Latino men by a 31-point margin.
Game over already, but wait till you see more.
And if you think it's mainly because of racism, that also doesn't quite jive with the fact that Latinos voted for Barack Obama over Mitt Romney, 71% to Romney's 27%. What are we doing, Democrats? Like, what do you? They're gone, Cenk. They're gone. Like, unable, unwilling to ever do even a little bit of self-reflection.
No, but I hear what they're saying.
Is it just me? Or does Ana Kasparian look a little bit happy about what's going on right now and the crumbling of the woke left? I'm very happy. But it looks like Ana Kasparian, she's smiling a decent amount more than I would be smiling if Donald Trump lost this election. And it really is insane that the lesson learned from this election for people like Sunny Hostin, for basically every single left-wing show outside of the Young Turks, like they are genuinely the only show that I've seen to assess this in not an absolutely insane way on the left wing. It's crazy how everybody except for Ana Kasparian and Cenk Uygur, their takeaway from this is we should be alienating everybody outside of us even more. So what I mean by that is let's call them even more racist and sexist. In fact, we should, instead of just calling like straight white men racist and sexist, we should expand who is racist and who is sexist. We should go from straight white men to Latinos. They are actually very racist and sexist. We should blame it on the white women, the uneducated white women, by the way, the ones that didn't go to the indoctrination camps called colleges in the United States. Those are the real devils. Those are the real evil. That's why we lost the election. White women and Latino voters, they are racist and sexist as well. It's crazy that that's their takeaway. Instead of saying, hold on, why are all of these people who we've been successfully brainwashing for all these years to make them believe that Donald Trump is a racist, sexist, misogynistic, homophobe, all of these things, why are all of these people voting for the man who we successfully brainwashed to believe that they are all these things? Maybe we are doing something so wrong that they are voting for him in spite of all of these false narratives that they were believing before. They're not thinking that even for a second. They think, oh no, double down. It's just so easy for them, right? Like, it's always been that way. I said it in a video yesterday, I believe, on this channel. It's why Hollywood hires all these minority and female directors and writers and actresses and actors, because even if they're not the best person for the job, if the thing flops, all they have to do is go tell their superior, oh, all these people are just racist and sexist and they just boycotted the movie because the lead is black or because the director is female. And it's just a get out of jail free card. It's the same thing with the left. Instead of actually taking accountability, if you're Sonny Hostin or if you're someone who works for MSNBC or CNN, you just say, oh, we only lost because of all these racists and sexists. And we need to have a real conversation and expand the pool of racists and sexists. It's not just straight white men. There's a whole lot more out there. It's crazy, but I love it because that means we get to win more elections going forward. I absolutely love it. And like I said, pay attention to how happy Ana Kasparian looks. I'm pretty sure she's a lot happier than I would be if Trump lost this election.
Saying the Latino Mexican culture in particular, so machismo, they never vote for a woman. That's why Mexico currently has a woman president.
Weird.
Oops.
Weird.
Oops.
Yeah.
Okay. But go ahead. Blame your own voters, you morons. So now you're going to blame not the person who ran the campaign. By the way, why don't they do that? Because Sonny Hostin and almost everybody on TV is great personal friends with Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and all those guys. So it can't possibly be beloved Kamala Harris's fault.
They're going to have nobody left soon, by the way. There's going to be nobody left soon that they could even possibly brainwash. Because the way that these people think is your race and your sex, your gender, your sexual preferences, those define who you are as a human. So if one Latino disagrees with them, or one election, Latino voters go a certain way that they don't like, they have now written off the Latino group of people in the United States as racist and sexist now. So now they've alienated that entire group of people. Not only they did it before, they obviously alienated them before because they voted for Trump, but now they've alienated them even further because they're not saying, guys, we messed up, I'm sorry, we're going to have a better candidate next time, run on actual policies instead of just running on literally nothing, and we're going to be better for the future. I'm sorry that we went ahead and absolutely betrayed your trust. We'll do better for the future. Instead, they're saying, nope, you're racist and sexist. Do you think they're going to vote for you next election after that? There's zero chance.
That's why yesterday we showed you clips of these same people saying that Kamala Harris ran a flawless campaign.
Flawless. Queen Latifah.
Queen Latifah was on her side. And normally Queen Latifah doesn't endorse people. Nevertheless, they ran this perfect campaign. I mean, she happened to lose. But other than that, she got Queen Latifah. So now these morons are saying, oh, I got a great idea for the next election. Why don't we punch our own voters in the face and smear them so they'll hate us even more? Okay, because that'll probably help us in the next election.
I think that might be a better strategy than Kamala Harris's brilliant strategy of running with a neocon like Liz Cheney. Let's see how it works out. It's just, look, I get it. I get that it's difficult to do self-reflection. I get that it's difficult to own up to mistakes, misjudgments. I totally get that. With that said, no one is entitled to a damn thing. Okay, no Democratic candidate is entitled to a damn thing. Even if the other guy is Satan himself, okay? The Democrat has to earn votes. And the fact that they feel so entitled, they feel so entitled that after losing the election, they're just lashing out at the electorate. That's all they've been doing. That is literally all I've seen from the Democratic Party. It's crazy.
By the way, look, I've said it on this show. I'm about to go and say it on other shows. Here's who I blame for the loss. Kamala Harris. Isn't that weird that almost no one on TV is saying that? Like literally saying the words out loud, Kamala Harris is at fault. You know why? Everyone on TV is craving access to the powerful or is personal friends with her or are such elites, they think the idea of criticizing the actual candidate is unthinkable, unthinkable. She's so important. She's a celebrity, she's famous, she's powerful. You can't just, that sounds outrageous to blame Kamala Harris. That's offensive. But blaming all Latino men, not offensive. Interesting.
Now,
and remember, by the way, the Republicans are the racists.
I know, it's, now others, including.
And also, the Democrats act like they're the party of freedom. Not only are Republicans the racists and Democrats are the good guys, but they're also the my body, my choice thing, when they literally feel like because you look a certain way, because you're a certain skin color or have something between your legs, you should vote for them specifically off that. So it's my body, my choice except for when it comes to voting, when it comes to jabs, when it comes to all these things. It's so weird, man. It's so odd. It feels like they just want to lose. I'd be shocked if they go the next 4 years without having some kind of restructuring of their narrative, of their strategy. I would love it. I would absolutely love it if that actually did happen. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're definitely going to restructure and have to just come up with a new strategy. It's not going to work. If you alienate your entire fan base for the next 4 years, your entire voter base for the next 4 years is alienated because you're calling everyone who voted for Kamala Harris, which is the vast majority, I don't want to say vast majority, but the majority by a decent margin is America who didn't vote for your candidate this time around. If you alienate them by calling them all racist and sexist, all the other istophobes in the book, you're going to lose again. You're going to lose again. I would absolutely love that, but I don't think they're that stupid. I think they're going to come up with a better strategy than that. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about Ana Kasparian and Cenk Uygur absolutely destroying Sunny Hostin and these woke media outlets out there like CNN and MSNBC. All these woke idiots who are blaming their voter base and calling them racist and sexist. It's wild, man. It's absolutely crazy. They've learned nothing from the crushing loss. Let me know in the comments what you think about this whole Ana Kasparian versus the woke media in the comments.